Hey all, this is a review lesson. I either have already done this in class or I'm going to do this in class depending on when you're watching this video. It's an option for you to kind of get ahead or maybe watch it on your own instead of doing it in class with me. We're just going to review what proportions are and what we can do to solve them. A proportion is two or more fractions that are equal to each other. Each of these fractions we can call a ratio. So this ratio is 1 over 3, and I have a ratio of x over 12. When they're equal to each other, we say that those things are in proportion. And this is the time where we can use the famous cross multiplying. So if I want to know how big x is to make these two ratios in proportion, I can cross multiply. That means I take the top of one side, multiply it by the bottom of the other. So 1 times 12. Take the top of the other side and I multiply it by the bottom of the other, and I'll say 3 times x. And then we can just solve this like a regular equation. 1 times 12 is 12. Divide both sides by 3 and get x to be 4. So hopefully this is review. We haven't really used this yet this year, so it's a good time to talk about it. So I have two examples here. I'll do them both for you. I want to find x in each of these, so I cross multiply. I do x times 5. And I'm going to do 4 times 9. And then I'll divide both sides by 5. And we'll get that x is 7.2. So that means that 4 divided by 7.2 is the same as 5 divided by 9. Quick, easy way to check that is to do 4 divided by 7.2 in your calculator, do 5 divided by 9, and make sure that you get the same thing. This one's a little trickier. We got maybe one extra step. I'm going to do 5 times 6 first and get 30. And then I'm multiplying 3 times this whole thing, x plus 3. And I'm going to write this so that x plus 3 is in parentheses. The parentheses, remember, means to multiply. So you might now notice that we're going to have to distribute. I need to multiply the 3 by everything in the parentheses. So 3 times x and 3 times 3. Now I'm solving this two-step equation. Subtract 9 from both sides, and then divide both sides by 3 to get that x is 7. So 3/5 should be the same as 6 over 7 plus 3, which is 6/10, and that is the case. 3/5 is equal to 6/10. So since you're watching this on YouTube, this is the time where I would ask you in class to try these two problems on your own. You're used to doing them by pausing and trying them, and then I'll give you the answers. So go ahead and pause. So I put the harder one first. 5 times x plus 7. Remember that I have to multiply 5 by both of those pieces, x and 7, and then 9 times 8. So over here I get 5 times x plus 5 times 7, which is 35. I'm going to subtract 35 from both sides. And then I'll divide by 5. And I get that x is 7.4. So that means that 14.4 divided by 9 should be the same as 8 divided by 5. And that is the case. If you put both of those into your calculator, you'll get that fraction becomes 1.6 in decimal form. This one might be a bit easier. do x times 25, 10 times 15, divide both sides by x, by 25, and I get that x is 6. So we're going to use these solving proportions in the next few lessons when we talk about similar polygons and similar triangles and all different types of proportions that we'll see in our triangles.